loud. Tonight's Fall Education Week presenter, first up this evening, is Patricia Pick-Franke. Patty is a strategic communications and leadership coach with a passion for helping others develop exceptional leadership skills. She first started her career in sales and marketing, where connection and communication are key skills for success. She has over 30 years of leadership experience. Patty is a certified John Maxwell trainer, speaker, coach, and vice president strategy and innovation at Bright Buzz Marketing. She originally started in Toastmasters in 1995 and is currently president of the newly chartered White River Word Millers in Noblesville. It is my honor to introduce our first speaker of the night and her presentation, The Secret to Exceptional Leadership. Please give it up for Patty Pick-Franke.
Thank you, Scott. And welcome, fellow Toastmasters. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about leadership, and then we're going to practice, because there's nothing better than learning by doing. We all know the more practice we get, the more better we get. Bad English, but who cares? I need to practice. And you all know that's why we're in Toastmasters, because practicing in the privacy of our very own club, unless, of course, somebody records it. There's no better place to practice leadership skills than when you have a position that gives you all of the responsibility and none of the authority. That's because when you have a position of authority, you can easily default to what I call leanership. This is where you lean on your position to apply pressure to others with fear, intimidation, sometimes even bribes. But only bosses and parents have this ability with these tricks up their sleeve. All the rest of us have to use our leadership skills if we want to see any results. Influencing others with our vision, our inspiration, and our creative problem solving are the tools in our bag to get what we want. When you have a position with all the responsibility and none of the authority, like maybe volunteers in an all-volunteer organization, your leadership skills are going to make all the difference. Since leadership requires willing followers, I did a short, informal survey on Facebook. I sent a message out and said, given a choice, what kind of people do you want to connect with? In other words, who would you follow? And here's what I found out. People said, we like people who make you feel good about yourself with compliments. We like people who are silly and make you laugh. We like people who listen to your challenges without giving advice. We like people who lift your spirit with a positive attitude. We like people who accept you without judgment, no matter what. We like people who can help you or who we are able to help. We like people who are interesting and interested in me. We like people we can learn from. And we like people who have a mission and are passionate about it. I don't know about you, but when I looked at this list, I could have swore that was everybody in my Toastmaster club. Did you notice also that a lot of these have something to do with communication? Does this perhaps give you a little clue about what you need to be an effective leader? It's true. the number one skill for success is the ability to communicate. Harvard Business Review says the number one criteria for advancement and promotion for professionals is the ability to communicate effectively. Jim Rohn says communication is the number one skill in life. And John Maxwell says everybody communicates. That's true. We know we all communicate, but few connect. If you want to get better results, you've got to get better at connecting with people. It doesn't matter who you are. You can improve your results by improving your ability to connect and influence people in an ethical way. It's interesting to note, it's not surprising that few connect, because 85% of what we learn is through what we hear. But only 20% of what we hear is comprehended. And then look at this. Less than 2% of professionals have formalized training on effective listening. So how do you stand out as an exceptional leader? By focusing your communication with the intention to connect. When communicating with connection depends on how you communicate, not necessarily what you communicate. Now, I'm not going to downplay how powerful your choice of words are, because it is significant, even though it only makes up 7% of listening. But that is a subject for a whole nother workshop, and we don't have time for it tonight. So today, what I wanted to do is share the 3 top skills that are rarely ever used by average leaders. These are intentional listening, perception checking, and pricing. Now, for tonight, what we're going to do is practice these skills. So just a little housekeeping here. What we're going to do is go into some breakout rooms. These will be assigned randomly, so you can't pick your best friend. And the intention is to know, like, this is a chance for us to get to know other Toastmasters in the area. I hope you think that's as fun as I do. It will also give us a chance to sharpen our skills with a little bit of practice. Because practice, practice, practice. So what we're going to do is assign 2 people per room, and each person will get to take on the role of the listener and the speaker, not at the same time. Each person will be assigned 2 minutes for each exercise. Then at the top of the room, you will see a notice that says time to switch or something like that, and you'll switch roles. After 4 minutes, we'll come back to the main group and do a little debrief. And I hope you won't be shy in sharing your experience. So you ready to get started? All right. So the very first one we're going to do is intentional listening. What does this mean? Number 1, you have to keep your mouth shut. Okay, you can open it, but just don't say anything. You want to make eye contact with the person you're speaking with. And you want to listen with both of your ears and both of your eyes. Because as I said earlier, body language has a lot to do with communication. Now, in this particular exercise, what I want the listeners to do is listen for understanding and listen for impact. And the speakers, what you're going to do is tell us a story about a time when somebody did not listen to you. Are there any questions before we get started? All right. Well, then let's go ahead and go to our breakout rooms. Remember, the topic is a time when someone did not listen to you, and the listener will only listen very intently, no wondering what happened in the news today, no thinking about an argument, and no wondering if you'd rather have Papa John's or Domino's pizza. All right, let's get to it.
Hello.
Hey, Regina.
Hi, I joined a little late, so
Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I can get you into a room or not here.
Hi, Scott. I was in the breakout room, but I didn't see other ones coming in, so I just go back to the main session and check.
So sorry, I think that we have an odd number. We had some other people that have just joined.
Oh, okay, okay. You are muted, Scott. I can't hear you.
Hi,
Hi, Morgan.
how you doing?
Good. How are you?
So do you know what we're supposed to be doing, or do I need to tell you?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so pretty much we are telling the other person about a time where a person didn't listen to us. And then you're just actively listening to the story. So I guess I'll just go first. So today I was looking for somebody at my job, and I found this person and I said, "Hey, you're the person that I've been looking for." And I said, "I need to talk to you about something." And then he starts to go on the elevator. And I'm like, "Hey man, I just said I was looking for you." And he was like, "I know, I was only half listening." And I'm like, "Well, obviously you were only half listening because you're going on the elevator. I just told you that I needed you." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm listening to you now." And so
Right.
as he stood,
Okay.
he looked me in the eye and listened to what I said. So that's my story. Your turn.
Okay,
All
just
right, well, I think we have everybody back. So Jinchu, I'm
Ah,
sorry, but I think you're gonna run out of
Okay.
time here since you came in a little bit late.
okay.
uh,
Thanks, Morgan. That's a great story.
thanks.
Patty, looks like everybody's back and it's back to you.
Did we have time to switch it back and forth?
That was
No.
Yes,
that was
yes,
4
we
minutes.
Well, everybody did? Okay.
No.
John and I did.
I was in the middle telling my story and it just brought me back. Yeah.
Okay,
And my partner wasn't able to tell her story at all.
okay.
I think that happened to us as well.
Yeah, I think not everybody got to practice both. So in my,
Sure, so you want to go back into breakout rooms for 4 more minutes?
yeah, if we could do that, that would be great.
Okay.
All right. You're going to probably end up in a different room though, because it is all automatic. So I'm not assigning people to rooms. You're probably going to end up with somebody new. So make a new friend. And if you didn't get to talk before, make sure you do this time. Oh no, you're back so soon. You're muted though. I'm sorry. You have to unmute.
Hi, so when I went into the break room, there was this person and I was trying to talk to him or her and I didn't hear anything from their end whatsoever.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
It's an unexact science when we're not live and
I
in
know.
person. Every once in a while, somebody does walk away from their screen and
Yeah.
we don't know that.
That's
Uh,
okay.
So you want to tell me your story?
Yeah, so my story was I was actually talking to Sam and then it kind of got, abruptly it
Go
stopped.
for it. I will listen.
So mine is a bit informal, it's about spouses not listening to you. And, and you always think you've told them something and then it always happens that they just don't listen. So, it just happened to be one of those days where, I had to, I'm a communication specialist and I work in a healthcare setting and I had to go for work that one day. And I had done all the prep work, as far as the lunch was concerned. And I had made a list of things that he had to do, which I put in front of him. My husband works remotely for a pharma company. And when I get back, I see the list right there on the table. The salad is eaten, but no dressings put on it. The dressing was very much where it was. And then there was a plate that was put in the microwave, but I don't believe he had touched it or heated it. He had just ended up eating it cold, as it had, like cold cucumber. And it was just a disaster. And then I said, like, did you ever listen to what I said? And he was like, yes, honey. And I'm sure he did not even hear that. So these are some of the fun things that I think we all folks as couples, as married folks go through. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
I recognize that story. I feel like I might have been part of that story in a different household at some point in my life. Like recently, maybe. Only it might surprise you to which end I'm on of that story. It might surprise you that I might not be on the same side that your husband was on during that story. I love my wife dearly, but my wife looks for things with her mouth, not with her eyes. Where is the, it's in your hand.
Exactly.
Everyone's going to be coming back here. I like that story. That was very good.
Scott, sorry, I joined it. There was nobody in my room, so
Oh,
I can.
I'm so sorry.
I think that's okay.
I'm so sorry. It's inexact. We had an even number when we went in, but sometimes once they're in, it looks like a couple folks dropped off the call.
Okay.
I was alone.
So it's like we had 4 people drop off the call while they were in rooms. They decided to go to their own room.
Oh.
All right. All right, let's do a little debrief on this. So the first question that I have for you was, how did it make you feel when somebody did not listen to you? Does anybody want to share?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. You want to
Yes.
go for?
Okay. When I'm trying to say something to somebody and that person fails to listen, I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
But because I want to make that person feel good in a positive way, I find a way to say it again. And that way they are somehow forced to listen positively.
Great, great. Anybody else want to share how they feel?
I feel. Oh, okay.
So you
Are you going first or am I going?
Morgan, Morgan has the floor right now.
Okay. I feel slightly upset when the person is like listening to me, because I'm like, now I have to repeat myself again because you didn't, like, you only half listened to me, or you maybe, how should I say this? What I'm saying is not important to you.
Right.
I get, and I feel like I'm just upset about it because I'm like, I said all this stuff and now I have to repeat it because your mind was on something else, or I don't know what I guess what I'm saying is not validating, or that person not validating. I don't know if it makes any sense.
Yes,
Okay.
you are making sense. It's a very common reaction when somebody is not listening to us. We feel frustrated. We feel angry. We feel like we're wasting our time. We feel completely invalidated. Like, so that's the normal reaction for most people. One of the things about this particular exercise was to listen and just listen. How hard was it for you to keep your mouth shut? If you found it easy, raise your hand.
Actually, I did. It really depends though on the speaker. Like if that person's very engaging, then you are just struck just by the way he or she talks to you, because some of them are great storytellers, and that's what basically captures you right in. And there's no way you cannot listen because you want to keep hearing more and more. And then at other times, you probably have a speaker who's trying hard, but there's kind of a disconnect. So a lot depends on the speaker. And in this exercise, I had a fantastic speaker who talked about his experiences being a new person on the job and talking about how working in a cross-functional team. And so the challenges that he had with people not listening to him just because he was new.
So I think we can all agree that listening is a very important skill, and that how other people feel when we listen to them is going to be not frustrated, not angry, not that they are wasting their time. And by us staying silent and listening, it allows them to get their points across. And anything you experience when somebody doesn't listen to you, you can remember to do just the opposite of that when you are around other people. For our next exercise, what we're going to do is called perception checking. Perception checking is after somebody tells you something, you actually repeat back to them in your own words what you understood. This is a very important skill that is hardly ever used. And it really demonstrates to the person that you are listening to them. And more importantly, it really eliminates misunderstandings and gives the person an opportunity to clarify. So maybe you heard one thing, but they said something else. Have you ever spoken to anybody and you could swear that you were speaking in a different language? This is where perception checking comes in. When I do this training with people in corporations, oftentimes people say, I thought it was the speaker's responsibility to be clear. But we also see things through our own filters. So making sure we're on the same page and that you're picking up what they're putting down is why you need to do this perception checking. So what we're going to do for this exercise is we're going to have one person talk about how you have grown or hope to grow with Toastmasters. And the way that you respond in perception checking is to say, what I'm hearing you say is, or you could say, I understand from what you said that blah, blah, blah. Or you could even say, I'm sensing that, if it's an emotional issue. So for this exercise, let's go back, and Scott, can you give us 4 minutes? I thought I saw it was 3 minutes on the timer. And we'll pick one person to go first to be the speaker. Please allow some time for the person to do a perception check. You may need to go back and forth. You never know. So let's go to breakout rooms.
I have actually put it to 6 minutes because clearly 4 minutes was not enough the first time. So we're going to go to 6 minutes for this one to give everyone 3 minutes, and you'll get a 3-minute warning halfway through.
Awesome. Thank you.
Enjoy, everybody. Huh.
Hi, Scott. I was in the
You're
breakout
back
room.
again. What's happening here?
I was by myself.
Well, it's people, and fortunately, once we hit breakout rooms, there literally are some people that literally just like, I'm out, I'm going.
Okay, they don't want to do
less
breakout
people after the breakout rooms than we had before the breakout rooms.
rooms.
Don't understand that. So go and tell me a story, and I will see if I can hear you. And halfway through, I'm going to have to end up typing in a message here in a couple minutes, but go for it. I will listen.
Okay. I forgot what we was supposed to be talking about. How Toastmasters has helped me grow. Okay, so I have been a member of Toastmasters for a year now, and I think it has helped me. It sure hasn't helped me with my ums. I'm still working on that one. But it has helped me. I want to say is with time management, managing meetings and times. And I've even had feedback from another organization that someone told me, like, you did very well with staying to the task and staying on time and being respectful of everyone's time. That is something that I need to work on. And I know that I got that from Toastmasters, especially, managing meetings. So I will say that's one thing I have grown and developed in as far as Toastmasters.
So if I'm hearing you right, in the past year, while Toastmasters hasn't necessarily helped the ums and the uhs, which if you're in a club that collects fines for that, they're happy about that. The one thing that it has helped you with is being able to stay on time and plan meetings more effectively and efficiently, something that you know you needed, but you didn't know you could do until you came to Toastmasters. Did I capture that pretty well?
That is correct. Great job. Great
Very
response.
nice. Very nice. All right. Dawn, welcome. Apparently you got kicked out of a room also. Regina just shared a story with me. Why don't you share a story and see if Regina can practice some of her listening skills?
Yes.
Hi, Regina. It's great to meet you. I was in a high school speech club. So actually my ahs and ums I have worked out through the years. So that's not something I really struggle with. I see Toastmasters as a way that I can pour back into others. I'm actually part of a closed corporate club. So I'm able to mentor new people that are joining our company and joining Toastmasters and kind of bring them up to speed. So I look at that as an opportunity to pour into others and to build them up.
What I heard you say was Toastmasters has helped you pour into others and giving back to the community and mentoring and helping others learn. Would that be correct?
That is correct.
Yay!
What I heard you say is that you're only in one club and you could join a second club, one that's not a corporate club, to practice in an environment outside of your own company. I think I might have heard, I don't know if that's exactly what you said, but that's what I heard.
You could construe that, yes.
That was great. Scott, you're on mute.
So it looks like we had some folks bounce off the call once we went to breakout rooms. Seems both times we had some folks that said, I'm going to my own breakout room, and that is going to be where I can get a sandwich. Because when we came back last time, we had about 7 people less than what we started with. And then once we got to the second breakout room, they were all back. So unfortunately, when you're doing this virtually, you can't necessarily stop someone from literally breaking out of the breakout. About 1:15 left. So if anybody else is on here, I see Richard, I see Sean. If you all have a quick story to tell, we have about 1 minute left. If you want to tell a story and see if we can practice listening, we'd love to do that.
I will tell you a story. I originally started Toastmasters so I could practice not answering questions. I had read an article that said women have a tendency to answer a question regardless whether it's anybody's business or not. And I thought, I do that all the time. And I need to be more like a politician and not answer a question. So I came to Toastmasters and deliberately, but professionally, did not answer any table topics questions. And now I'm quite good at it.
So I would love to give the response for this, because what I heard you say is that, Scott, I'm assigning you another job because your wife is going to overhear this conversation when I tell you this on a call as we are talking about district opportunities. And now Scott has to listen for any time his wife answers a question that wasn't asked. So what I heard you say is, I want to give Scott more work to do and a better opportunity for him to get in trouble.
Yes.
Very good. I still love that story. All right, rooms are closing. I think the sweet spot's 5 minutes instead of 6.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because there's some time in going back and forth between the rooms and getting to the rooms and coming back to the room.
It was great.
I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Yes.
So my first question for everybody is, how did it feel to have somebody actually understand your position? Did you feel angry? Did you feel frustrated? Did you feel like you were wasting your time in telling your story?
It feels good. It feels like there is a real connection there because you know that they're actually listening to you and they understand. It's also interesting to hear them very concisely relay back to you what you just said in more words. So they basically condense it down and give you back the point. So it helps you to see it and understand it from a different perspective, a little bit more clearly.
Yeah, excellent. Did anybody hear something different other than what the person was saying?
No, I mean, for me, I feel connected and I feel we make more friends, feel like we make friends, you know, so it's really nice.
Yeah, and I will tell you that this is an invaluable skill if you are trying to persuade somebody of something. The method of doing this is to repeat back to them exactly what they said. Well, not maybe exactly, but in your own words. And then emphasize how valid and important whatever they told you was. So if somebody said that I was practicing, in my case, I was practicing not answering questions on table topics. And you could come back. I heard you, Patricia, say that you have really excelled at not answering questions, and that's a great skill for sustaining your marriage or being a politician or something else. So when you reinforce what you heard by validating that it's important and valuable, you take it to the even next level. But we're not going to do that right now, but something very similar. So the next skill that we're going to work on is what I call prizing. Now, Toastmasters are all used to giving positive feedback when we do evaluations, and it's always about the speech. But when you prize somebody, it's about them. And the words that you use are, I acknowledge that you spent a lot of time and effort working on this project. Or I admire how much you are devoted to Toastmasters. Or I noticed that you put in extra effort and really help people and bring on and connect more Toastmaster Club members. You really light up the room when you come into our meeting. Or it's super cool that you are the funniest person in this room, or something like that. So listening for something to acknowledge, to admire, to notice, and then share that back with your speakers. This is just an invaluable skill in gaining rapport, developing trust, stimulating the ability or willingness for people to be open and receptive to your ideas, and also completely eliminates defensive posturing. So another very strong way to connect with people. So for this exercise, what we are going to talk about is what challenges are you currently experiencing or maybe recently have overcome. Let's go to our breakout rooms.
And for this one, we're going to have 5 minutes because there's only about 8 minutes left for our call.
looking at. It's just trying to make a decision.
Well, thank you everybody for coming back. The first question I have for you was it difficult to find something to praise the other person with? Shake your head yes or no. Not at all, is it? It is not hard to find something wonderful to share with another person. How did it make you feel to be prized? If you felt good, give me a 2 thumbs up. If you thought it sucked, nobody thought it sucked. Great. Can you imagine using this all the time with the people you interact with, and how it will change your life and change your relationships? I know we're running out of time, so I want to ask you, do you know anybody that's a good listener? If you can name them, they probably fall into one of these 3 categories. They're either someone that loves you, somebody that likes you, or somebody that respects you. Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you say. People will forget what you do, but people will never forget how you make them feel. Exceptional leaders make people feel valued and respected. No matter where you are, no matter what you do, you can always use these skills in every aspect of your life. So I just have one question for you. The next time you communicate, are you just going to communicate? Or are you going to communicate to intentionally connect? You always have the opportunity with everyone you speak to demonstrate exceptional leadership. Back to you, Scott.
Wow, Patricia, that was amazing. That was amazing. Everyone, give it up for Patricia, who had a great time tonight. That was fantastic. Thank you all so very much. So in 2 minutes, who has questions in the next 2 minutes for Patricia? Love to answer a couple of questions. I'm sure some folks out there have something to say.
Patricia, I just want to say thank you. I feel elated. I'm happy. Very, very valuable exercises.
Patricia, are you now a public speaker? Do you get paid for doing this? Because that was good.
I actually do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Patricia, thank you so very much for joining us. And thank you for that amazing session. I'm going to hit stop record here so we can post this tomorrow.